What is going on, people of YouTube? My name is Kurtyoy and welcome back to another Summer 2015 Transfer Targets video. Now in this video we're going to be doing Chelsea. If there are any requests for teams, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. But I am bulk doing these, so I'm doing Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool and then Spurs. And that'll be the order they're going in. I believe I said that in the last video. Any other requests for teams outside of them, let me know and I'll be doing them straight after I've done Spurs. But I feel like the big six of the Premier League are what the people want, so it's what I'm going to give the people. Anyway, moving on to our team. Let's start with some outgoings. Although I think it'll be a sad day for Chelsea fans, I believe Loftus-Cheek will be leaving. He's been a great keeper for them. He's spent so many years at the club. I believe signed about 10 years. You know, constant first team player. Had that unfortunate head injury. Still was on form, but unfortunately a younger, taller version of him, Thibaut Courtois, has come in, and rightful replacement. Not yet, I believe, the best. Courtois, I believe, best goalkeeper in Premier League by far is David De Gea. Not far off though, Thibaut Courtois along with Hugo Lloris. But Loftus-Cheek will be leaving on a free, I believe. So we'll get rid of him. The only other player I can see Chelsea realistically getting rid of, because I don't really need to get rid of any players, is Didier Drogba. He's 36 years old. He's joined the club again, I believe, just on a one-year deal. His contract is running out. Hasn't really done much this season, and I feel like they will want to bring some more players into that department. So Didier Drogba, unfortunately, will also leave on a free. Contract-wise, you look at the players, and the other one is John Terry. Although I believe he's either already signed or he's in talks about getting a new contract. So that's good for Chelsea fans. Yet another year of John Terry, who's, although I don't agree with what he's done in the past, he's definitely one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in the Premier League. But onto the players that Chelsea will bring in, there's not many, and it's quite a few ones that are strange. I believe there's one player in there that you probably will all have heard of as a big signing wise, and all of them have their own reasons for being strange. But they've only got one goalkeeper. In their under 21s, you can see the goalkeepers. I don't believe Delac, Beanie, or Blackman any of them are ready to be a backup goalkeeper. If Courtois gets a bad injury, then I don't think any of them. It will be risky to keep them. Let's just say. But the keeper I've got in mind, I have really looked into this keeper, because I've barely found any keepers for anywhere. Is a player called Roman Bürki, a goalkeeper for Freiburg. His contract running out in 3 years, because we are, of course, in 2015 now, not 2014 like on the game. But he's had a really good season as a goalkeeper for Freiburg, and he's a good young keeper. And I think working as not really an understudy, but getting learning off Thibaut Courtois, even though Courtois is a year younger, it will benefit from him, and I think he'll be a good keeper for them to fall back on if need be, for cup games and everything. So Roman Bürki will come into the team. And the next one we're going to be doing is another strange one, and you may say it's highly unlikely, but I'll see what you think, or hopefully in the comments you can tell me. But the player I've got in mind is Dani Carvajal. Now, the reason for this, I know, is the strange thing is that he's homegrown at Real Madrid. He has left for Leverkusen once and joined back for Real Madrid. Only because Real Madrid, if you probably would have known that recently Danilo has agreed to join at the end of the season from Porto. He is a Brazilian right back, and you may notice something in the squad, but they have two right backs. They have Alvaro Arbeloa and they have Dani Carvajal. Now, I don't think Arbeloa will be one to leave. I think he'll want to see out his season. He's got another year. He'll want to see out his contract at Real Madrid, having been there from pretty much the start. So that's why I think maybe Dani Carvajal will be the one to leave, and will be the one to join up with Jose Mourinho again. He was at the club, I think, briefly, I believe, in his few years there. He might not have been. Don't quote me on that. But he'll be one to join, and that's it for signings from outside wise. The rest are from within Chelsea, which they have to do because of financial fair play. And I know it says there they've got three right backs. Azpilicueta is pretty much a left back. Remic can play centre back. But I've got a few players in mind. I believe defence-wise, we'll start off with that. And the first player I'm talking about is Thomas Callas. He's one player that played at the end of last season when City did win the title. Unlike this season, he's moving into the first team because I feel like he had a year out on loan. He played at Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough had some pretty good games, and I feel like now he'll be first team ready. There was other defenders in there that you could have brought in. You've got players like Christensen, and you've got Kenneth Omaro, or Omerero, or however you say his name. But I feel like they might need I think Christensen is too young. I think Kenneth Omero might need maybe another season or two. In my personal opinion, I think Callas is more ready for it, and he's already had the Premier League experience at the end of last season too. The other players coming in, I've got 2 midfielders and 1 striker coming in. No more wingers because I feel like they're pretty much okay in that department. But the 2 players I've got in mind, one of them is Ruben Loftus-Cheek because he started playing this season, and everyone can see he's got talent. He's such a talented young player, and a credit to Chelsea's youth system. And in the future, he could be a player Chelsea through and through, possible England legend. If he carries on growing the way he is growing, easily be in the team in the next 1 to 2 years. If he can hold down a first team spot and knock players like Matic out of the team. But the other player I'm going to go with is Nathaniel Chalobah. Now, he's been in and out with loans within his Chelsea career. I mean, you can see when you go on his history, he had Middlesbrough, he's had Reading, he's had Forest, he's had Watford. There's 4 different clubs on loan. I think now, although he's 19 and Loftus-Cheek is 18, I feel like they are both first team ready. Chalobah's had quite a few seasons in the Championship. He's had quite a few good seasons in the Championship. He's a great holding midfielder role. So as well as having Mikel and Matic, you also have Chalobah sitting in there. He can go forward well. The same with Loftus-Cheek. They can both come back. They can both go forward. They're 2 quality players, and that really bolsters up the central midfield they needed. It's not necessarily giving Oscar a bit of support, but you've got Fabregas who can play there. Eden Hazard can move into the centre. You've got Remy who can play out wide. You've got loads of different options, and it's so good to see that if this happens, then they can have quite a few young players. And I'm not done there. I've got one more still to go. Striker wise, it's been widely reported that he went to go and watch him when he was in playing. It was Patrick Bamford of Middlesbrough? Yeah, Middlesbrough. He's on loan at Middlesbrough. I think he's first team ready. He's had a fantastic season. I believe I believe it was him that got player of the season, but didn't get into team of the season for the Championship, which is quite weird, considering he was the best player in the Championship, but not in the best team, which for me doesn't make sense. But that pretty much completes Chelsea's team for the season. Of course, being Chelsea, I don't think they'll settle for just 1 or 2 transfers, being Berkey and Carvajal my picks. I believe they'll go and splash the cash again. Reported that they might try and fling Oscar and Cuadrado just for Raheem Sterling, which I think is a risky move, considering then they are getting rid of their first team players and swatting them like flies at the moment. But I'll quickly go and do the team I believe they'll play. There's 2 different teams. You can start with this one having holding midfielder, but I prefer to feel like Oscar would have his position up there. And we'll start going on. Obviously it's going to be Thibaut Courtois, and I think as much as Carvajal is a good player, and I feel like on the game, he's better than Branislav Ivanovic, I feel like you've got a solid defence here, and there is no point changing it, despite players coming in. It's been solid for 2-3 seasons now. What is the point in changing it when you've got a good, solid defence? Midfielder-wise, you've got Fabregas who can come in, and you've also got Nemanja Matic. You have got young players too. There's not really much change anywhere, really, for me. You can just stick with the same squad, and as much as say you need to improve on it, you can't really do much improving on the squad. It's going to be hard because, everyone has played so well and has solidified their place in the team. It's led for other players to be just left out. For example, like Petr Cech, like Kurt Zuma, like Felipe Luis, Ramirez, Mikel, Cuadrado, all of them being left out, Remy too, and Drogba, all of them being left out, but not because they're bad and they're out of form, but because they are the players that they're competing against to get space in the squad are so in form. The only change I can really see happening is maybe Oscar would maybe lose his place and someone like Ramirez or maybe even Loftus-Cheek would come in. But for the moment, I feel like that's it. Because of financial fair play, if they do decide, and the reports are true about Oscar and Cuadrado being allowed to leave permanently or on loan, to allow Sterling to come in, that is really risky. Because if you get Oscar out to get Sterling in, let's just call Oscar Sterling for a second, or we're going to call Cuadrado Sterling, sorry, and bring Cuadrado in for Oscar. Suddenly you've got that. Oscar not being allowed to be there, you're risking it a lot. But that is it for the Chelsea team. We're going to just switch it back so Oscar can get his spot back. I did not mean to click on Juan Cuadrado. But I'd thank you guys for watching. Like I say, coming in the next few days, we've got Liverpool and we've got Tottenham Hotspur, aka Spurs. I'll call them a lot by Spurs. It's a lot easier to do. But thank you guys for watching. Remember to write your suggestions on teams you want me to do after we've done the Big Six in the Premier League. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.